Hi and welcome to a long overdue vlog. Honey says hello too. Start again. Hi and welcome to long overdue vlog. I've had a couple of months of not being feeling too great. I had some bad news when it came to my weight. I found that I'd gone back up, and that really hit me. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a tiny amount. It was almost like a whole stone. All that work I put into to get my weight down suddenly just screwed up. I went back up and ended up being 27 stone and 2 pounds, which was quite depressing and quite upsetting. And like I said, it hit me for a loop, and I spiraled down a little bit. But some changes to diet and some help from the doctor, and I managed to lose 10 pounds. I was well chuffed, so I'm back down to under 27 stone. I'm now 26 stone 10 pounds. I'm well chuffed. So that was good. That was really good. When I saw that, went into Boots, weighed myself, and I saw that I'd gone from 27 whatever down to 26 whatever, and I was like, yes, I'm doing a little down. Like, hey. I definitely had some people looking at me. I couldn't care less. I was really happy, so screw them. So I'm trying to get back into doing these vlogs once a month. I'm also starting a second vlog, which I'll be doing weekly, and I'm still learning how to use this new editing software. So hopefully I will have the first of the new vlogs, weekly vlogs, out sometime today or tomorrow. Basically what it is that I'm going to be doing an update of each week of my main meals. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to do photos of my main meals. I'm going to tell you what I've cooked and what I had with them. I'm not going to take photos of everything I eat that day, because I think that'd just be a bit boring. I had a cup of coffee at 5 p.m. I took the dogs out, and so on and so on. I can't be bothered with that. I'll just basically fly through what I've had for breakfast, if I've had breakfast, what I've had for lunch, and what I have for dinner, and the photo, and I'll take a photo of what I've had for dinner, because that's my main meal, my main source of my calories, my fat, and all stuff like that. So hopefully I'll be starting that this week. I've made the start. I've got photos. I've got the introduction sorted with a little picture with food diary vlog. Fingers crossed, like I said, we'll get that started today. Topic today: dieting. I hate the word dieting. I think, to me, a diet is just what you eat. It's the literal meaning of it. It's not the action of how to lose weight and stuff like that. The word diet just means what you actually eat. I hate thinking of in the terms of dieting. You can change your diet to accommodate certain things. So if you're highly active, you can adjust your diet accordingly. But if you completely change your diet, then I think that's really bad. I think it's actually worse for you than stopping eating. Made a few mistakes. I've been working on my own personal diet, trying to find where my diet fits into with my lifestyle, and with me wanting to lose weight, and how to change what I normally eat into a healthy version of what I normally eat, so I don't miss the things I want to miss. I've got a couple of rules when it comes to having a healthy diet. If you want something, eat it. Definitely eat it. Don't crave something. If you really want a chocolate cake, have a chocolate cake. You get a wee slice of chocolate cake. Don't go overboard. Don't have massive amounts of it, because then you are totally negating what you're doing. If you want a bit of chocolate cake, then buy a bit of chocolate cake. Just have a slice. Don't have the whole cake. I always have the whole cake. I like chocolate cake. If you want a kebab, have a kebab. Get the small kebab, or get a chicken kebab. Don't get a doner kebab. Get a chicken kebab. Slightly healthier, not by much, but slightly healthier. So yeah, if you have cravings, feed the cravings. What I find with me is if I crave something and I try to deny that craving, I want it more. And say if I manage to ignore those cravings for a week, and then I get paid, and I go into like a stupor, and instead of having, maybe I'm craving a burger, and I go in, I won't just have a burger, I will have several burgers. I've been craving it so much, I just want to stuff myself full of burgers, cheeseburgers, and it just. So when you get the craving, feed the craving and get it out of the way. That's one of the main things. The other thing I found as well is when you're starting off, okay, it might be different for people that are trying to just lose a couple of pounds, or just a few pounds, just trying to get down to that size 6 or 7 or whatever dress that they're trying to wear, and they're like a size 8 or something. If you're like 27 stone, if you're like obese, do not change your diet. Don't suddenly start having just brown rice. Don't cut all your foods out. You want to gradually change your diet because you've become ingrained with eating so much of something, or more of something else, that you just it's not good for you. I don't think it's good for you. I could be totally wrong, and it could have absolutely no effect on the person whatsoever. But for me, I found that if I tried to cut everything out and I didn't start on reducing like portion sizes and stuff like that, and carry on eating what I was eating, well, I think the prime example is when you change your dog's foods. I'm sorry to compare people losing weight to dogs. This is myself included, of course. Compare myself to a dog. If you change a dog's food, it upsets the tummy. So you have to gradually change their food, not just totally change it in one go, just so their body can get used to it. And I think it's the same with humans as well. Our bodies get used to what we eat. It gets used to processing what we eat as well. And if we suddenly change it, we're going to be ill, stuff like that. A prime example of that as well is people that have gone from either being vegetarian to being meat eaters, or going from meat eaters to being vegetarians. If you just cut out meat, or if you just cut out, you jump straight back into eating meat, you have a dicky tummy for a while. I certainly did when I went from being vegetarian to meat eating again, and I had the squits and wasn't pleasant at all. So anyway, yeah. So my second bit of advice is don't change what you eat. Change your portion sizes. So if you have a massive, great big plate of, say, chicken curry, cut it down by a third for, say, the first 2 weeks or the first week, depending on how you feel as you're doing it. There's also a very personal thing. So when you feel you're ready to cut it down, and cut it down some more. So yeah, the first bit is, let's say, cut down what you normally eat on when it comes to your food down by a third. And then cut it, when you're ready, cut it by another third. And so you're getting a third of what you normally eat. And again, like I say, do it gradually. Don't do it all in one go. Don't make yourself ill through it. You need to let your body get used to the amount of food. Your stomach will shrink. So as you're getting used to eating the smaller portions, your body gets used to it as well. Physically gets used to it, not just mentally. And so your tummy will shrink just a little bit. And so when you cut down a little bit further, your portion down a little bit further, your tummy will shrink just a little bit more. The great thing about that, which is something we discovered today, we knew but anyway, is once your tummy's got used to being a certain size, if you eat a lot of food, like today we had a breakfast and we didn't have that much. I had plates, and well, our plates used to be piled high with bacon, tatty scones, loads and loads of fried foods, including toast, fried bread, tomatoes, all the lovely stuff. And our plates used to be piled up high with it. So much so that you have to dig down to get to the bottom of the plate, and you can't see the plate. Today we had a fried breakfast. Well, I say fried. Most of the stuff was grilled. The only things that were fried were the mushrooms, the tomato, and the egg. You can't grill mushrooms. You have to fry them. Anyway, so, and again, we normally have tons of that. So, but we had enough that it was just covered the base of the plate. It wasn't piled. You didn't see much of the plate because there was enough ingredients of individual things. And when we were eating it, I was just like, both me and Karina, because we're sharing the same sort of diet, what we eat at the moment, our tummies shrunk so much that Karina couldn't eat half of us, and I had a third of mine left. Me, I never have breakfast left. I never have fried food left. I love it. I absolutely adore it. It's really bad for you, but oh God, it tastes nice. So yeah, so your tummy shrinks, and your stomach shrinks inside your body and gets used to smaller portions. So if you eat a big portion, you actually get full a lot quicker. Honey's wants to say hello. Here she is. Say hello, honey. Say hi. Gail. Yeah, so your tummy shrinks. So I can't remember. I've lost track now because I was talking to the dog. Yes, I do. I love you too. You're on TV. Or you're on YouTube. You're having my coffee. Do you mind? I'm trying to do something, you know. She says, yeah, bugger off. This is my channel. So, yeah. So, points were eat what you want, feed your cravings, cut down your portions. So that was the first two. So the next step I found. Now I did that, and I did start to lose weight. I got down to under 27 stone, which was great. And I don't know whether I made a hiccup or something. I went back up to over 27 stone, but I couldn't shift it, and I was having a lot of problems. And I went to my doctor, and I said to him, I'm having a real bad time. Can you prescribe me Orostat? Orostat is a tablet which helps to bind fat. So you take that with your meal, and as it goes through your body, and along with your meal, you take it with, or just after, or just before your meal. It binds all the fats together, and it passes it out through your butt. Obviously, where else would it go? So all the fat that you eat that day, unfortunately, it's very indiscriminate. So it will take the good fats as well as the bad fats. But all the fats that you eat that has gone down with that tablet will flush out your system, and you get this like pizza or the top of really cheap takeaway tomato-based curries, and you have that sort of like fatty layer on top. That's kind of like what you end up passing. Lovely thought, I know. Isn't it fabulous? Details, too much information. I'm going to be making people cry, I imagine. So I asked my doctor to take that, and I thought, right, well, I'll take this. I'm only going to take it for a month. I just need it to help me get over this lump. Because I thought a lot of our food was high in fat. Proven wrong. Everyone was giving me horror stories, basically saying that in the end I would have to wear a nappy almost, or a pad, because when you pass wind or fart, you can also pass this lovely liquid stuff. Thankfully, I never had that problem, and we found out quite surprisingly, well, surprisingly to me, that we don't eat a lot of fatty foods. So there's me trying to cut out fat, but yet I'm not, and calories, reduce my calories and reduce my fat. And all along, my fat, the amount of food I was eating is not high in fats. So I went back to, or at least high in bad fats. So we sat down, and my creator sat down, and we were thinking about it. So, oh, the only other thing we can think of is to try and cut down the carbohydrates that are in our diet. So what we did was we started doing that. We started to cut out the carbohydrates, ignore the fat content, and pay attention to the calories and the carbohydrates is what we did. So no, I didn't go to eating an Atkins diet before anybody says it, because I don't believe in these diet things. I think they're fads. They might help for a little while, but I don't think they'll help long term. I had lots of people suggesting Tessa. She absolutely adores the cabbage soup diet. I don't. It smells. It's horrible. It's as bad as taking those tablets. So what we found, what my third bit of advice is find out where your fat, where you're getting your weight from. Is it fats? Is it carbohydrates? Is it sugars? Um, are you having a high combination of all of those things? I don't suggest you go to your doctor and say, "Oh, doctor, please, order, give me Orostat. I want to see if I'm pooping fat." If you look at your foods and you look at what you're eating, like I said, I use a MyFitness app, MyFitnessPal, and it breaks down into sort of like fats, sugars, fibers, sodium, and all that stuff, and it will work out where you're getting your weight from. Okay, I went because I seriously thought I was getting it through too much fat in my diet. But as I said, it proved that that wasn't the case. So we changed it to carbohydrates, and we started to reduce carbohydrates. And in the 2 weeks that I stopped, I cut down the carbohydrates. And she's back again. Um, what? When I cut down the carbohydrates within 2 weeks, I've lost 10 pounds, and I can't complain. You know, it's fantastic. And a other couple of things as well. Since I cut down carbohydrates, certain measurements have changed in my body. So the really biggest surprise, I can't remember how much it is, and I don't know, could bring it up, I suppose, but was my measurement of my chest, and I lost something like 10 inches. And it's like my boobies are getting smaller. Fantastic, you know. I'm going to get rid of my man boobs. I won't have to wear a bra anymore. I lost weight I lost about an inch around my waist, and I lost an inch around my hips as well, and a couple of inches around my neck, I think. I'm just guessing, but I lost inches everywhere, which was fantastic. Let's just hope I gain inches in other places. Oh, please let me gain inches. No, I told you in one of my videos. You know, it's like the bigger you get, the smaller it gets. So obviously, the smaller you get, the bigger it gets. Yeah. Sorry, totally. They went off a tangent there. So yeah, find what areas you have too much of, and then pare it down. For me, changing carbohydrates was just a case of changing some of the stuff that we eat. Karina bought a spiralizer for us. If you don't know what spiralizer is, it basically turns most hard vegetables into like a noodle or a spaghetti type shape, and you stick it in and you just turn it, and there's little spikes on it, and then it cranks and cranks and cranks, and out the other end comes the noodles. We've had butternut squash. We've tried sweet potato. That didn't go down quite well. I think that would work out quite well deep fried, which is not what you want to do when you're trying to lose weight. Sweet potato, using spiralizer on the sweet potato, when you cooked it was kind of like mushy. It still tasted of sweet potatoes. It was still okay-ish. It wasn't as nice as the other ones. We've done spiralized courgettes, and I love courgettes. Fantastic. We did a stir fry, and we had courgettes as spiralized courgettes as the noodles, and went brilliantly. The other thing I've done as well is I've changed because I've cut out carbohydrates. I find one of my biggest downfalls, one of the biggest weaknesses, excuse me. See, carry on. So, you just make my cup. No, it was a cup for Christmas from my brother. Bovril, horrible stuff. Anyway, that's coffee, not Bovril. One of the things that I found as well is one of my all-time favorite things is sandwiches. Whether it's peanut butter sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches if you're American, or peanut butter and jam sandwiches if you're from the UK. Stuffed meats, cheeses, leftover dinner. I love my sandwiches. I will quite happily have a couple of sandwiches instead of a main meal. And because we've cut out carbohydrates, we're still having bread, but we've cut down, I've cut down personally, the amount of bread I eat. I do not eat a lot of bread. We had a loaf, we put a loaf in the freezer, and what I've been doing, and we've got, at the moment it's best of both, but normally we get a whole meal. And I have, if I'm really, really hungry, I will have a couple of slices of toast with some hummus on it. And that would just stop me from feeling hungry. Or I'll have fruit or a few nuts or something. Nuts? That's me. So yeah, the amount of bread. So we used to go through, on a normal week, we would go through between 2 to 3 loaves of bread a week. It sounds like a lot, but if you think about it, you're having 4 slices of bread a day in sandwiches, then maybe some for tea, because we used to use quite a bit of bread for if we had if we didn't have what's it called, garlic bread with a spaghetti. We would just have some normal bread and just do a sloppy Joe sandwich, or would have it with soup and dip bread and stuff like that. We've cut down, and like I said, we've gone from having 2 to 3 loaves of bread a day, and like I said, that's mostly me that ate that, and mostly sandwiches, to having 1 loaf a week. We had a loaf, Karina bought a loaf of bread last weekend, and we've just finished it today. I've just finished it yesterday, and that's just because I've cut down, And that is a major source of carbohydrates, is your bread. Bad carbohydrates. Shona keeps reminding me, one of my friends, that have to have the good carbohydrates. Well, you still eat your carbohydrates, you just don't have the sugar and insulin producing bad carbohydrates. The processed white flour and stuff like that. All this bad stuff that everybody loves, and that goes particularly well with a bacon sandwich or a bacon roll. White pasta and stuff like that. So yeah, I've cut out all the bread as well. So that's like I said, a major part of my carbohydrates. I'll be showing charts on my weekly vlog of the last 7 days of what my totals were, and where I don't know how to describe it, but you get a line across that says you are supposed to eat X amount of fat, X amount of carbohydrates, and then you have a little graphs underneath it stating where you are on the graphs. So spikes of sodiums and little bits down there, and I looked at a 30-day one, and then my carbohydrates were, if this is the line going across for what you're supposed to eat, and carbohydrate was up here, and then it was like, and it was down here, and almost 2/3, almost a third, no, 2/3 below the line of what we're supposed to eat. I was so chuffed. One of the things that I'm having problems with, and I've got to try and work out, is adding more fiber into my diet. I'm noticing that my recommended amount of fiber is, and fiber being a good thing, is nowhere as near as it should be. So I've got to try and work out how to put some fiber into my diet. So I might have to actually start eating breakfast. Everyone says breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I might actually have to start eating breakfast on a regular basis. I tried a couple of things as well during the couple of months that I didn't do a vlog. Ow! Sorry, my foot's stuck. Ow, ow, ow. One of the one of the things I saw and I thought I'd try because I do love them is there's a study that says that having eggs for breakfast will help to curb your hunger for most of the day. Now I love eggs, and I love eggs in no matter how they're prepared. I like eggs. I absolutely adore them. Um, so we tried that for a while, and we actually had some breakfast for a while. And we had, um, excuse my pronunciation, ranchos huevos. We had um, egg and soldiers, and we had some other egg on toast, and we did other bits and pieces, scrambled eggs, stuff like that. I'll try and find interesting things to do with eggs. So each day we had something new to try. The only problem is if I eat eggs on a regular basis, I get a really horrible sort of like burpy, sulfur type burp, the rotten egg type burp. As much as I love eggs, and I really do love eggs, I can't eat them on a regular basis because if I eat too many, I get that horrible burp, and I get it all day, and I just can't stand it. And it makes everything taste absolutely appalling. I'm sure my breath is appalling as well with it. Trying to think of anything else that I did to change the diet. Don't eat as many crisps or biscuits. I've been eating a bit more fruit, and must remember to ask the Queen to get some fruit tomorrow. Mostly clementines or satsumas and bananas. I know they're not the healthiest of the fruits; they're quite high in sugar. But the satsumas, they've got a good amount of vitamin C in, so I can say that's for it. And there's potassium in bananas, so it's an enjoyable way of taking in some extra potassium. I had found for my Fitness Pal app when I changed all my diets and I've been adjusting it accordingly to how I think. Ever since I've started the low carbohydrate part of dieting, I have to make things up. I'm full at the end of the day, and like I said, if I'm really hungry, I'll go get some toast and have some hummus on it. But what I've been finding is that when I've done uh, my daily report, my diary, it tells me that I've not eaten enough, and because I don't want to go and eat something else, I feel like I'm at plenty. So I've had to make things up. So I've had to make up snacks just to boost it up, so it actually does register as and share to Facebook and stuff like that. Uh, I've never thought I'd have to make something up to say that I've eaten more than I actually have. It's like I always thought I'd have to do it the other way around. It's like, no, I didn't really have that. No, 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 no. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was there. um, so yeah, so I've had to make things up to just add so I can actually complete my diaries. Um, I think on one day I think I had 16 coffees just because I couldn't be bothered to try and think of something to add. So when I stayed at home putting my 4 coffees or my 6 coffees, I will put an extra one in on there, so it's at 16 coffees. So yeah, so far the things that I've learned, the things that I find that are important are those few things that I've said. So feed your cravings, don't ignore them, and don't ever ignore them. Change your diet gradually. Start off with portion control. That is the very first thing you have to do, is portion control. Then change the food accordingly to whatever your fat your obesity is coming from. Like I said, so fat or whatever. So start cutting out certain aspects of your meal. Don't change your meal. Don't completely change your meal. Don't suddenly go to. I've heard of people going from eating Western food to going to a Japanese style diet just because Japanese people are skinny generally, unless you're a sumo wrestler. I could be a sumo wrestler. or they go to this Neolithic, or they go to Atkins, or something like that. Don't change the food you're eating, just change parts of it. So if it's carbohydrates you're trying to lose, swap your potatoes out for something else, swap your pastas out, even if you swap it for brown whole grain pasta, change white rice for brown rice, stuff like that. Just little tweaks and stuff like that, because obviously you've decreased the size of your portion, so that helps a lot, and then you just fine tuning things. Um, Experiment, find things that you like. What was I so? Feed your craving, reduce portion sizes, tweak your main meal according to whatever you're losing weight for. That's it. Those are the three main things for dieting. Um, or for trying, I think for trying to lose weight. I mean, you don't need to do anything else than that. Uh, you change things according. Your tastes may change, and everything may change as you go along. You might change to eating spiralized vegetables instead of noodles, and then you may change your meat into vegetables. So eventually you've actually changed the whole diet, but you've not done it in one go. You've actually changed it in increments and played around with things. And hopefully with that you will lose weight. I certainly have. If I can lose weight, like I said, I was in tears to the doctor. I put weight back on, and once I worked out where my food or my fat was coming from, it's a bit more of a breeze. And the other thing as well, have days off. I found out I lost 10 pounds, so this weekend we've had a total weekend of indulgence. I've loved it. Tomorrow we go back to eating what we were eating beforehand, and like I said, because I've cut down the portions, because we cut down the portions that we're eating. Sorry, I'm distracted by the cat behind me. She must have found a plate that was there. Because I'm reduced the portions that I'm eating, my tummy shrunk, and I don't eat as much. So I can indulge and just not eat as much. It's great. So I hope this has been help. I hope it hasn't been as garbled, and it's come out fairly clearly. If you have any questions, please ask below, and I will answer any questions. If you have any suggestions, any criticisms, be kind, be gentle. I've been away and I've been depressed. Be nice to me. And from me and everyone else, it's like ta-ta and good luck.